Okay, let's just recap what we've done so far. If you notice in the first session, it was very much basic introduction to SPSS, where I showed you how to open the SPSS file and basically create a simple variable. And then we went on to the next session where we opened a data or a sample file and showed you how it works. And I also gave you the exercise. Hopefully you did it. If you haven't, I'd advise you to go back and look at the sample questionnaire that you already have, all right, and try to create variables. For question 3, we have already done 1, 2, 3. Now if you notice, what is question 4? Why do you prefer flying to other means of intercontinental transportation? Please choose as many as appropriate. So if you notice, the earlier question we only chose one item, but here they are telling you not to just choose one, but you can choose more than one. So creating a variable for this, here we're not talking about being mutually exclusive, because one can fill out it's faster, it's cheaper, or they can fill out all of these. So this is where we've got to be a bit cautious on creating variables like this. So what we need to do is, let's now take and go back to our actual data file. This is our variable view, and here what we have is, the question is, do we create one variable or do we create a multitudes of variables for each of those responses? Now if we create one variable and tell them to fill out either 1, 2, 3 or 4 or 5, then we can create one variable. But what is happening is, for question 4, one may answer number 1 or number 2 here, or number 3 or number 4, all 4. So how do you actually, and you can only allocate one element for each cell or each particular question. So the best way we can overcome this is for creating actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 variables. We have one question, but we are creating 5 variables. But remember, in the first 3 we had each question had only one variable. And the reason why we are doing this is because people can answer more than one option in this particular question. So I'm going to just still try and see how we can actually create these variables, and I'll see if I can remember. If not, we can always toggle back to the data file. And now here, the first question is basically we're talking about preference. Preference, all right. And here the preference here what we're talking about, preference is being faster. So we put preference fast. All right, so that's a variable that we are creating. So now if you notice, I'm just going to move there. And here what we have is, we have said if somebody has chosen this, how will they answer this? So this is where you go to your label column and put there 0, no, and 1 is yes. Add, right, and go OK. So what we have done, and again here if you notice the label column I've left it empty. What I need to do is, I need to say this is actually in relation to question number 4, and I'll just take you to question number 4 here again. All right, and we're talking about preference of flying. All right, so again we will try this again, which we were not successful the last time, and we'll see if we can actually go right click, copy, and hope it works. So what I want to do is go paste. Voila, it works. Wonderful. So but you must understand here what is happening. We've copied the whole questionnaire or the whole question, but we're only looking for things which are in terms of people traveling for being faster. So what we need to do is go back to the actual question in there and say, what we need to do is go back here and say your preference for travel, and we can just say there, why do you prefer travel? Maybe we can just put there being faster, so we know that this is for being faster. Okay, and that's basically it. Now just to give you an idea of how I can actually copy the same question and change it later. So all I do is go Control, copy, alright, and then go here, paste. Alright, same question, and what I do here is I go to the questionnaire here and look at this being cheaper. So I go here now, I'll take you back to this picture, and so I just go to this picture and change the word cheaper. Alright, cheaper. Alright, and here my variable will be pref, pref, cheap. Alright, so if you notice, what I want you to do is I can go through and create all these other aspects of being more comfortable and safer, but I would rather you do it as an exercise. So go back now and see how you can actually do the other bits of creating the other variables. Now, if you notice, this is variable view. If I show you what happens in data view, this is what happens in data view. We've got a first variable, gender, year, birth, travel purpose, preference, fast or cheap, and let's just maybe fill this out. So when we talk about gender, we said one was female, so assuming the first respondent had filled out, and this is the first respondents, and here you have number 1 is female, the person, and the year of birth is say 1982. Alright, and then the travel purpose here, we had a couple of reasons for travel. So assuming this was leisure, I just put number 1, and here preference, whether for fast or slow. Now if I did not answer this, I just put a 0. However, somebody wanted, because it was cheaper, then I put 1. Alright, so all I'm doing is I'm actually inputting the data in the data view. Alright, so I'm just saying that someone has only filled out. So I may have the next person, this may be male, alright, and say they are born in, say, hold on a minute, alright, say they are born in 1985, alright, and the travel purpose was 2, and maybe these people wanted to fly because of being faster, but they were not bothered about the price, so we put 0. Alright, so it goes on and on. Alright, so this is what I want to show you. What I want you to do now is I've given you an example of how to fill out a questionnaire where you need one question but more than one variable is created. And the reason why we do that is because person can have multiple options of answers. Alright, now here again, if I look at this question here, number 5, which airlines do you prefer in? Now this is an open-ended question. Now for purpose of open-ended question, you actually cannot create a variable for the simple reason is it is too many open-ended options. So I'll stop here for right now and start off with this again in the next session.